going on in the United States culturally during this time period. Let's call this the era of duck and cover. The United States, everyday Americans are terrified that at any moment there could be an atomic bomb, a nuclear attack launched by the Soviets, and that everyone in the United States would be blown up or affected by radiation poisoning. So, if you were rich enough and had enough space to do so, you built fallout shelters. Schools, similar to how we might have a lockdown drill or a tornado drill, they would have duck and cover drills. And of course, the reality is that very little protection is actually possible. If you've ever been out and about, maybe even in downtown Memphis, you might have seen one of these signs that's up here in the top right. That means that building had a fallout shelter. And there are, again, some buildings in Memphis that you can go and see these images on. But I wanted to play for you, and this song is going to get stuck in your head. There's a lot of music in this little section. A little PSA that would have been shown to students in school about how kids could protect themselves from a bomb.
Dum dum, beetle dum dum, beetle dum dum, beetle dum dum. There was a turtle by the name of Bert, and Bert the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked and covered, ducked and covered. He did what we all must learn to do. You and you and you and you, duck and cover.
Be sure and remember what Bert the Turtle just did, friends, because every one of us must remember to do the same thing. That's what this film is all about. Duck and cover. This is an official civil defense film produced in cooperation with the Federal Civil Defense Administration and in consultation with the Safety Commission of the National Education Association. Produced by Archer Productions, Incorporated. Hey, Bert, come on out and meet all these nice people, please. Oh, all right. We really can't blame you. You see, Bert is a very, very careful fellow. When there's danger, this is the way he keeps from being hurt. Sometimes it even saves his life. That's why these children are practicing to duck and cover just as you do in your school. We all know the atomic bomb is very dangerous. Since it may be used against us, we must get ready for it, just as we are ready for many other dangers that are around us all the time. Fire is a danger. It can burn whole buildings if someone is careless. But we are ready for fire. We have a fine fire department to put out the fire, and you have fire drills in your school so you know what to do. Automobiles can be dangerous too. They sometimes cause bad accidents, but we are ready. We have safety rules that car drivers and people who are walking must obey. Now, we must be ready for a new danger, the atomic bomb. First, you have to know what happens when an atomic bomb explodes. You will know when it comes. We hope it never comes, but we must get ready. It looks something like this. There is a bright flash, brighter than the sun, brighter than anything you've ever seen. If you are not ready, did not know what to do, it could hurt you in different ways. It could knock you down hard or throw you against a tree or a wall. It is such a big explosion, it can smash in buildings and knock signboards over and break windows all over town. But if you duck and cover like Bert, it will be much safer. You know how bad sunburn can feel. The atomic bomb flash could burn you worse than a terrible sunburn, especially where you're not covered. Now, you and I don't have shells to crawl into like Bert the Turtle, so we have to cover up in our own way. First, you duck, and then you cover. And very tightly, you cover the back of your neck, your face. Duck and cover underneath a table or desk or anything else close by. In Betty's school, they are talking about the atomic bomb, too. Betty is asking her teacher, how can we tell when the atomic bomb may explode? And her teacher is explaining that there are two kinds of attack, with warning and without any warning. We think that most of the time we will be warned before the bomb explodes, so there will be time for us to get into our homes, schools, or some other safe place. Our civil defense workers and our men in uniform will do everything they can to warn us before enemy planes can bring a bomb near us. You may be in your schoolyard playing when the signal comes. That signal means to stop whatever you are doing and get to the nearest safe place fast. Always remember, the flash of an atomic bomb can come at any time, no matter where you may be. You might be out playing at home when the warning comes. Then be sure to get into the house fast, where your parents have fixed a safe place for you to go. If you are not close to home when you hear the warning, go to the nearest safe cover. Know where you are to go, or ask an older person to help you. You know the places marked with the S sign? They're safe places to go when you hear the alarm. If there is a warning, you will hear it before the bomb explodes. But sometimes, and this is very, very important, sometimes the bomb might explode without any warning. Then the first thing we would know about it would be the flash. And that means duck and cover fast, wherever you are. There's no time to look around or wait. Be like Bert. When there is a flash, duck and cover, and do it fast. Here are some older boys showing what to do if the flash comes when you are not in the classroom. This is what to do if you should be in a corridor. You duck and cover tight against the wall this way. Remember to keep your face and the back of your neck covered tightly. Try to fall away from windows or doors with glass in them. Then, if the glass breaks and flies through the air, it won't cut you. You might be eating your lunch when the flash comes. Duck and cover under the table. Then, if the explosion makes anything in the room fall down, it can't fall on you. Getting ready means we will all have to be able to take care of ourselves. The bomb might explode when there are no grown-ups near. Paul and Patty know this, and they're always ready to take care of themselves. Here they are on their way to school on a beautiful spring day. But no matter where they go or what they do, they always try to remember what to do if the atom bomb explodes right then. It's a bomb. Duck and cover. Paul and Patty know what to do. Paul covered the back of his head so that he wouldn't be burned, and Patty covered herself with the coat she was carrying. They knew how to duck and cover. They acted right away when the flash came. If they had been at this doorway when the bomb flashed, Paul and Patty would have ducked and covered this way, like this girl. Heavy doorways are a good place to duck and cover. She will be safer, too. Here's Tony going to his Cub Scout meeting. Tony knows the bomb can explode any time of the year, day or night. He is ready for it. Duck and cover. Attaboy, Tony. That flash means act fast. Tony knows that it helps to get to any kind of cover. This wall was close by, so that's where he ducked and covered. Tony knew what to do. Notice how he keeps from moving or from getting up and running? He stays down until he is sure the danger is over. The man helping Tony is a civil defense worker. His job is to help protect us when there is danger of the atomic bomb. We must obey the civil defense worker. We must know how to duck and cover in the school bus or in any other bus or streetcar. Duck and cover. Don't wait. Duck away from the windows fast. The glass may break and fly through the air and cut you. Sundays, holidays, vacation time, we must be ready every day, all the time, to do the right thing if the atomic bomb explodes. Duck and cover. This family knows what to do, just as your own family should. They know that even a thin cloth helps protect them. Even a newspaper can save you from a bad burn. But the most important thing of all is to duck and cover yourself, especially where your clothes do not cover you. No matter where we live, in the city or the country, we must be ready all the time for the atomic bomb. Duck and cover. That's the first thing to do. Duck and cover. The next important thing to do after that is to stay covered until the danger is over. Yes, we must all get ready now, so we know how to save ourselves if the atomic bomb ever explodes near us. If you do not know just what to do, ask your teacher when this film is over. Discuss what you could do in different places if a bomb explodes. Older people will help us as they always do. There might not be any grown-ups around when the bomb explodes. Then you're on your own.
Remember what to do, friends. Now tell me right out loud. What are you supposed to do when you see the flash? Duck.
All right. So I can say with great certainty that all that is false information. None of that will help you. Okay. The Red Scare. So we've talked about a Red Scare before at the end of World War I, where there was concern about immigrants from Eastern Europe importing communism after the fall of the USSR to communism in 1917. There's the Immigration Quota Act. Can you all hear my kids chomping on their pretzels right in the microphone? There's the Immigration Quota Act of the 1920s. And then there's continued concern about communism, and it really hits a whole new level at the end of World War II when there continues to be concern about the spread of communism into the United States.
What was the last one?
Duck and cover. This is the last video I have to make, so y'all just sit quiet for another minute, okay? And so we have the second Red Scare, which begins in 1945 when a Soviet defector presents papers showing that there was a Soviet plot to infiltrate governments around the world. And hysteria continues to build. In 1947, you have something called the Loyalty Review Program, which is a screening process for federal employees for loyalty to the United States. The FBI will be involved in that. Shush. Hoover, J. Edgar Hoover will, hey, get off of here with the Nutella. You're going to make a mess. You're being silly. Be still. Hoover will even go so far as to J. Edgar Hoover, who's the head of the FBI, will initiate the House Un-American Activities Committee, which is an investigative committee by the House of Representatives, which will try to ferret out un-American activity or pro-communist activity on the part of federal employees. The Taft-Hartley Act of 1947 says that union heads, as in workplace union leaders, have to take a loyalty oath, and that if you are a sort of card-carrying communist, so to speak, you would be purged from unions. There's the McCarran Act, the Internal Security Act, which is passed over Truman veto, that requires communists to register so that they could be followed and subject to a variety of restrictions. Senator Joseph McCarthy will be sort of the driving force behind the House Un-American Activities Committee, and his brand of searching for communism, persecuting real and imagined communists in the United States, in the government and beyond, will be known as McCarthyism. These great movie posters, the top right, I married a communist, right? The enemy within, but they could be everywhere. And then, is this tomorrow? This could be America under communism. Stop. You've got Nutella all over your hands. Now go. You're going to get it all over this pretty blanket. Get out of here. Y'all, go. Go on the kids' floor. Okay, and they're gone. So there are a couple of very notable individuals that are going to be put on trial under this during this Red Scare. The first is a man named Alger Hiss. He is a career bureaucrat, we could say. He served in a variety of government positions. He is a State Department employee even during FDR's administration. He will be accused of being a member of the Communist Party by a man named Whittaker Chambers. Whittaker Chambers was a known communist, an admitted communist, I should say, who started naming names. And he was like, there's another communist within the State Department, and his name is Alger Hiss. He's going to be investigated by the HAWC, or the House Un-American Activities Committee. He will be charged with perjury by saying, I don't know, Whittaker Chambers were not involved. I never gave him government documents. Whittaker Chambers says that wasn't true. He will be convicted of perjury and serve 44 months in federal prison, all the while maintaining his innocence. Julius and Ethel Rosenberg are maybe the most famous case to be prosecuted during this second Red Scare period. They're a married couple. They're both immigrants. Julius is an engineer with the Army Signal Corps. Both are politically active and left-leaning, but are they official communists is questionable, but definitely leftists. Ethel's brother, a man named David, confessed to being a spy, and he says that Julius was a spy with him, that they are then investigated and accused of being part of this vast conspiracy to commit espionage. They are charged with passing classified information about the atomic bomb to the Soviets, and they are both executed in 1953. They and their family, even today, maintain their innocence. There does seem to be some evidence that they were involved in some sort of espionage, but it's certainly still up for debate. In pop culture, the Cold War dominates. Radio, film, music, it all reflects this political climate. I Was a Communist for the FBI is a really well-known movie. Even The Crucible, this play by Arthur Miller, which I know you guys have read in English class before, about searching out people and executing them for these imagined crimes, is a play on McCarthyism, on the Red Scare. And then music, I'm going to play a song for you. This term atomic was widely used.
Got a doll baby, I love her so. Nothing else like her anywhere you go. A man, she's anything but calm. Regular pint-sized atom bomb. Atom bomb, baby, little atom bomb. I want her in my wigwam. She's just the way I want it to be. A million times hotter than TNT.
All right, I won't subject you to the whole thing. Oh no, it's going to play forever. No, hopefully not. Oh, go away. Well, I think that's okay. And the baby boom is also during the Cold War time period. I know you guys are familiar with the term boomer, right? Men come home from the war, they start families. That's what's happening here. The birth rate between 1940 and 1960, you can see, is really skyrocketing. And everything that comes along with having a family, the idea of this American dream surrounding having, a wife and two kids, or three, 1.5, whatever that magic statistical number is, right? The idea of home ownership is growing. By 1960, 1 out of every 4 American homes had been built within the last decade. So you can see how also we're spending. What are we spending on food? What are we spending on clothing? What are we spending on housing? It's all increasing here. Automotive production. The further out you live from your workplace, the more you're going to have to drive in. So we are talking about not just a baby boom, but a housing boom, a suburbs boom as well. There are, of course, issues with American abundance. Truman will win re-election, but after Truman will come Eisenhower. Eisenhower will introduce this idea of dynamic conservatism, that it can mean more than what it used to. We will see this baby boom and this rise of white-collar jobs, but also questions about how far does American abundance extend? We are having this period of post-war prosperity, but who is prospering? This, I think, is a theme in American history. Anytime we talk about wealth and the growth of American wealth, we have to also have the conversation of who is profiting off of the growth of American wealth. And as we talk, or we'll see in the civil rights movement, of course, not everyone had access to this new American abundance. So we are truly out of the Great Depression at this point, but not everyone is equally out of the Great Depression, I'll say that. And also, I want you to think about the Red Scare and its effects on Union membership. I mentioned a second ago this idea of the growth of suburbia. There is a song, and I put the lyrics in the folder, that has been on two recent APUSH exams. The lyrics have, and references to a song called Little Boxes. I'm going to play it here for you. It's written about this growth of suburbia and this idea of an American dream. Oh, I'm sorry, I realize y'all can hear that. Let me turn off that. This growth of suburbia and this realization of this new American dream. So I'm going to play Little Boxes for you, and this is something we'll certainly have a conversation about.
Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same. There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university, where they were put in boxes and they came out all the same. And there's doctors and lawyers and business executives, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. And they all play on the golf course and drink their martinis dry, and they all have pretty children, and the children go to school, and the children go to summer camp, and then to the university, where they are put in boxes and they come out all the same. And the boys go into business and marry and raise a family in boxes made of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same. There's a pink one and a green one and a blue one and a yellow one, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky, and they all look just the same.
So the little boxes there that song is referencing are homes. And then this is an advertisement for this community known as Levittown. And Levittown is one of the first, I don't want to say prefabbed, but quickly built suburban communities in the country, but certainly not the last.
5 years ago, this was a vast checkerboard of potato farms on New York's Long Island. Today, a community of 60,000 persons living in 15,000 homes, all built by one firm. This is Levittown, one of the most remarkable housing developments ever conceived. The idea that came to a man named Bill Levitt was this: why not apply to the building of houses the same principles that have brought other American industries to their unexcelled peaks of efficiency and service? Why not mass produce the elements that go to make up a house, just as the auto industry does with the parts that go into a new car? Bill Levitt had some other ideas. Put kitchen and bathroom back to back and let them share the same plumbing. Let your plumbers do their work without interruption and without waiting for the carpenter or the bricklayer to get out of the way. Pre-cut your lumber so it's all ready to be assembled into the frame of a house. With the waste removed, one truck can deliver to the building site all the rough lumber that will go into 2 complete Levitt homes. It's really a matter of organization and planning, getting rid of waste motion. When the foundation is ready, coils for the radiant heating are there. Not a day too soon or a day too late. Without delay, the steam fitters finish their work and move on to the next house, and right behind them come the masons to lay the underflooring. Power-driven trowels make the job a lot easier and faster. Levittown houses are not prefabricated. Prefabrication means a factory operation in which large quantities of materials are kept moving to the workers. Here, the opposite is true. The construction crews are moved to a waiting line of materials. This sort of organization and efficiency is all important in the vast defense housing program. That's the next order of business for the nation's home builders. The architecture of the houses in Levittown is varied enough to eliminate dreary monotony, while at the same time enough alike to permit the savings that result from standardization. Many housing projects are a sea of mud when it rains, but not this one. A wide range of color schemes also brings variety. So here's the home that cost its happy owners just $9,000. And that includes such extras as a completely equipped kitchen, a two-way fireplace, a finished room in the attic, and even a washing machine. The living room. Levittown is a community of young people, and that means a great need for schools. Space has been set aside for plenty of them. Dotted here and there throughout the huge area are shopping centers where every type of product or service is readily available. Shoe stores, five and dimes, department stores, supermarkets, and banks. In addition, there are other facilities designed to draw residents together to help make them feel they are part of a real community. Recreation centers with provisions for filling leisure hours, summer or winter. Yes, that old potato patch has come to a good end.
I mean, it looks lovely, right? I think. You can also see here, 1947 to 1970, the median family income really increases, right? And this is the 1950s. This is Leave It to Beaver. This is I Love Lucy. You know, the American Cold War cultural period is long. The last few years of the 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, 1970s, 1980s. But in general, we are talking about a continued rise of consumerism. If you think back to the consumerism that we talked about in the 1920s, right? Why shouldn't you get a car? Let's extend that credit. We pause that for the Great Depression. We pause that for World War II. We resume that in the post-war era, in the Cold War period. So women in the workplace are also growing in numbers slowly, right? A very small advance, but an advancement. All right. So let me know if you've got questions about any of that. I'm sorry about the wild children. Hope it wasn't too frustrating.